Thank you so very much for joining us, and this is still Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. President Bola Tinubu has directed the 36 state governors to comply fully with the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy by handing over statutory allocations directly to the councils. Speaking at the 14th APC National Caucus meeting in Abuja, Tinubu stressed that there can be no true local government autonomy without a funded mandate, insisting that councils' fund must no longer be withheld.
Very true. He also urged governors and party leaders to show flexibility, tolerance, and active leadership down to the grassroots, including rural communities. The president also disclosed that he had assured the United States and the European Union of Nigeria's commitment to establishing state police as part of efforts to tackle insecurity, expressing confidence that the APC would support the necessary reforms.
So let's get talking. We still have His Greatness Agadaigo Esquire, who joins us to do some justice on everything we have to talk about today. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on.
Thank you for having me again and again.
Thank you.
Extremely
Thank
grateful.
you. So, Barrister, this is more like a transition from what you were talking about and asking us if we can correct you on whether or not the local government councils we have in Nigeria are directly financially appendaged to the state government. But President Bola Tinubu is saying that every single kobo should be handed over to local government area councils. So has this corrected your assumption in one way or another that the local government areas in Nigeria can stay independent, totally independent from state governments if President Bola Tinubu insists on that is what he wants?
Well, it does not in any way. You know, I think I would prefer to the Supreme Court's decision for it to be, you know, one thing is to make a pronouncement, and another thing is the practicality in implementing that pronouncement. And if we are going to really, in real terms, implement the Supreme Court judgments to make local governments autonomous, then what we must do, and I'm advising Tinubu's government, if it's really serious about full enforcement of the Supreme Court judgment, is to amend the local government, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Number one, amend it and remove that clause where you say local government funds from the federation should be paid into a state stroke local government joint account, which is always operated by the state government. So you have to amend that section and say local government funds should be paid into the various accounts that stand for the local various 774 local governments of Nigeria. You have to amend that. That's number one. Then again, secondly, many of the local government between 1999 and 2007, since democracy came in and there was increase in salaries, so civil service appeared to be just like many of the states government overemployed service, many of the local government and too many people into the. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, barrister.
Okay, so they employed so many people. So because it became like a Gulf oil money wind, Gulf oil money and free flow money. So they are overemployed, and the consequence of that overemployment is that when a local government receives its allocation, its federal allocation, when you remove payment of salary, they had nothing remain. In fact, in some cases, allocation, meaning that after payment of salary, there's nothing left for the local government. While in other cases, even after paying salaries, there's nothing left. There's still outstanding salaries. The local government monthly allocation could not cover payment for recurrent expenditure, meaning it could not cover the payment of salaries of employees. And many of these state governments have to come to the rescue of the local government for political correctness to add funds to the local government allocation to be able to cover payment of. So now, what is the way forward? Almost all the local government have no way independently to generate internal revenue for themselves, because like I told you earlier, that if I go by Delta State, the Constitution itself, it says that no local government will tax anybody without a law made by the State House of Assembly to that effect. Even dictated to the local government, the Constitution also says that the local government cannot derive taxation levies, carry out these functions without the State House of Assembly making a law in respect of that function on behalf of the local government. So that part of the Constitution needs amendment if you want true financial autonomy for the local government. That the local government now, for a local government to be able to carry out taxation functions in the items provided for it in the Constitution, then the legislative arm, not the State House of Assembly, the legislative arm of the local government must make a bylaw to empower that local government to carry out that tax levy or charges and perform that function in respect of these items provided for the local government in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So with that one now, you have now made local governments who for now are just mere appendages of the state government, you have now made them to be financially viable, meaning that apart from the monthly federal allocation, they can all now generate internal revenue through those items that have been donated to them by the Constitution. So with that one, now they will now have extra money to be able to mitigate their liabilities and responsibilities for recurrent expenditure, which is payment of salaries, and have some other money to be able to carry out capital project.
Okay.
Statutory, all things being. So until this mere declaration by the president to 8 governors who now, I think they are 28 or 29 in or more, because they are growing by the day.
Definitely.
Cannot make the local governments viable. It cannot make them viable. Many of them are still living by the grace, by the donation, extra donation by the state government. So this is relevant. Now, I need to say this because you cannot say one, you cannot be speaking from two sides of your mouth.
Yeah.
Now, this president does not want state governments to be withholding local government funding, but the president has been withholding the local government funding for Osun State, even after the Court of Appeal made it clear that it is those PDP chairmen, that they are the authentic chairmen. It is clear the federal government on its own through its Attorney General has been withholding the funding of Osun State. In Edo State, immediately power went to APC. The local government of PDP extraction were being threatened daily, and even threatened by thugs from resuming in their office. The Attorney General only spoke once. Immediately the governor retorted back to him. He never ordered the IG to ensure protection of those PDP local government chairmen in Edo State to ensure that they carry out their duties. We saw complete silence, and which can be likened to consent. That silence was consent. They were being harassed. They were being impeached. The State House of Assembly suspended them. Even after the Supreme Court judgment, we did not see any statement from the presidency ensuring the autonomy of local government, no matter party affiliation. We saw silence. It shows that this statement amounts to double standards.
Okay.
When it is good for it stands for financial autonomy, but when it appears that it will not favor them, then you turn your back, you close your eyes, you shut your eyes and look away. So one of the greatest legacies of the APC government is the doctrine of double standard. Without any form of pretense. So this local government desire for local government autonomy, what we have seen so far from him, he just gave fast decision when the president took this matter to court. But when the government took the matter to court, we did not see that the same speed being applied. We didn't see the same speed. So it's all marks of double standards.
All right, Minister.
True altruistic. It's not better saying this, and I stand to be quoted. I want to be quoted that what I'm saying is that the quest for local government autonomy is not based on any sincere altruistic motivation, but it is garnished by double standard in and out. Here we look, it is all double standard.
Okay, it is all double standard. Well, that was in fact, that was a well detailed analysis coming from you. So is the president empowered to enforce compliance without a new law?
The president has seen it himself that without the cooperation of the state government, without the cooperation of the state government, the Supreme pronouncement will amount to laws in the book. You know, we refer to some laws as laws in the book. They are just in the book, but they are not enforceable, they are not applicable, they are like dead laws. That's how it is. That's why the president, since his party now controls the overwhelming majority of governors of the state, is now using his moral suasion to like persuade them, and even persuade them and maybe compel them to comply to it. But like I said, it is beyond moral suasion. Certain key fundamental amendments must be done in our constitution to make the Supreme Court pronouncement on the financial independence, financial autonomy of the local government to be workable, to be practicable, and to be enforceable.
All right.
So that is done. Too many hurdles on the way constitutional hurdles, by the way, that will stand against the realization of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
All right, Barrister, for the want of time, let's maybe talk about the state police thing, which was part of the discussion President Bola Tinubu had with his people. He said that the need for state police might be somewhere close. And lots of people have agreed that he wasn't doing this allegedly because he really wanted to make that as part of what he wanted, but because he wanted to satisfy the United States and the European Union that he was doing something with regards to security. As much as we agree that state police is good, but let's look at the intent of President Bola Tinubu. If really state policing was part of his deal, why didn't he do it all the while? Why now come and do it now when he knows that the pressure from the United States is much? So let's look at the intent of that promise.
Well, it is clear now. Even in our NBA conference in Lagos, I think the present governor of Ondo State came. We had a topic, state police. Femi Falana was there. He spoke on it. The present governor of Ondo State, Ayedi Tiwa, was there, and he came with his commandant and told us the successes of the Amotekun Corps, what they have recorded, and advocated, he's of APC and advocated for state that if we must get our internal security right, state police is the way to go. So everything has been in the public domain. I'm sure, I think it was Rufai that headed this restructuring project for APC on how to restructure Nigeria. And I think one of the recommendations they made was about also state police. That was many years ago. So state police, it is clear that it is the way to go. So maybe he was enjoying the soul, because for now, in practical terms, the Inspector General of Police only carries out the orders of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I can't even remember whether we have the Minister of Police Affairs. But if we do, it is clear that even the Inspector General, the Minister of Police Affairs, does not authorize or direct the Inspector General of Police on how to go about his duties, his functions. Maybe he's just there for payment of salary and management of welfare. And of course, you know, the Inspector General of Police does not take any directive from the Police Service Commission. Of course, that one is clear. He doesn't take directive from the Minister of Interior. He doesn't. It's only this. So he maybe in enjoying that sole prerogative to direct Inspector General of Police on how to carry out his function or what to do and not to do, he felt that there's complacency. You know, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. But then you must be somebody, a true leader must, number one, be a visionary, must be a statesman. You don't only think about the benefits of the perks of office. You think about 20 years, 50 years, 100 years time. You think about society building, nation growth and development. That's what must occupy you, because you know, even if you stay in the office for 8 years, the office will still come to an end. Just like you can imagine, Obasanjo was part of our consciousness just a little while ago. That before we think or say anything, we think of Obasanjo. But for goodness sake, Obasanjo has left presidency. This year now will make it 18 years or thereabout. Obasanjo left that throne. And it's like it's a joke, but that's the reality. 18 years, Obasanjo, who used to occupy our daily lives, conversation, psychology, every now and then, has left the presidency of Nigeria since 2007, plus 18 years, makes it 2025, meaning he has left there for 18 years. That is how transient power is. But thankfully, the legacies of Obasanjo left still speaks volume, even across Africa and even through the global space. So that's what must be your thinking. That must be your consideration. That one must be your push, your drive, your stimulation to act in certain ways. And well, the bosses of Asiwaju, Ahmed, Tinubu, Otto, and Nigerians, but since he refused to listen to Nigerians, the vacuum, nature abhors vacuum. President Trump has stepped into the fray, and he has no choice but to listen to. I don't think he listened to even European Union. Who he listened, nor did he listen to Americans. Who he has listened to now is only one man, Donald Trump. That's the person he has listened to, and he has listened to him thankfully to do the right thing. So, it is clear that the motivation is not altruistic. It's compelled. It's compelled, because you know how Donald Trump does. Donald Trump himself does not work in alliance with the rule of law. Certain things very difficult for the Nigerian government, and I'm sure they know that, as well as you and I. So they are compelled to comply. They are compelled to comply. So the next question, having answered the first one, is that the state police, the compliance, despite extraordinary pressure from Donald Trump, is it fit for purpose? Is it appropriate? Will it help our security architecture? Yes, it will, to a large extent. It means that we will now have multiple layers of security architecture to address our ever multiplied and multifaceted security challenges. So because in dealing with security, even in America, they have multi-layered security campaigns and agencies. They have in a place, they have the local police. What's the name? They call this their local government, sheriff. Before you get to state police, like Los Angeles Police Department, New York Police Department. Before you get to the federal level, FBI, and of course there's still the CIA that gathers intelligence for them, both in America and around the world. But most importantly, sir and man, is that we must be able to spare out the different functions of state police, and because even though we are going to get state police, even if we get state police, the federal police will still be there. So we must be able to carefully and skillfully spell out their operations, their modus operandi, where state police function starts and where it stops, where the federal police function starts and stop, so that there will not be clashes here and there. There will not be clashing in state rules, clashing in federal rules, clashing in issues of state jurisdiction, clashing in issues of federal jurisdiction. Maybe since both of them now bear arms, we'll hear that there is open spree firing. There'll be
Are you still there, Barrister? All right. I think I just hope this is we would resume back, but let's see how that goes. Barrister was speaking to the issue of state policing, and reassuring us that it would work. But how would it work when we still have a federal police and hopefully a state police, and both police force would be bearing arms, right?
Yeah.
So already we have soldier and police engaging in physical, in fight.
Yeah.
All right. So imagine we now have a state police, we have federal police, we now have the army. and the three of them now want to fight themselves, you know, which we usually see in our roads, maybe for one issue or another. But we just,
orientation,
okay,
we have to call them together, orientate them, and, you know, dispatch them to their various responsibilities or role. So I feel that if it's well organized, they might not really have clashes. Yes,
all right. I just hope that works, and we just have to leave it at this point. Thank you so very much, Barrister. We had one